You know, it's kind of wild to think that in today's world, a single line of bad code can literally bring an entire company to its knees. That's exactly why we're going to dive deep into two of the most critical topics for any auditor today: technology risk and cybersecurity. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big picture, the good and the bad of technology. Then, we'll get into how companies actually build up their digital defenses. And most importantly, we'll tie it all back to the skills you're going to need as a truly tech-savvy auditor. Look, technology is the classic double-edged sword, right? On one side, you've got these incredible opportunities. Think about ERP systems that connect a whole business, or just being able to pay with your phone. But on the flip side, the threats are massive. I mean, just look at sophisticated attacks like SolarWinds, or more recently, the Change Healthcare ransomware attack, which caused chaos across the entire US healthcare system. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's explore this new digital world. What really makes it so complex, and why is it such a huge challenge for even the biggest, most powerful organizations to get a handle on? Well, the first big reason is just the sheer complexity of it all. Think about your own life for a sec. How many cloud services like Google Drive or Zoom do you use every day? It's the same for companies, but on a massive scale. With all this software as a service, or SaaS, and cloud computing, a company's critical data isn't just sitting in a server room down the hall anymore. It could be anywhere in the world. And these risks, they're everywhere. It's like a layer cake of potential problems. You've got the physical hardware itself that can fail. Then there's the network, where data can be snatched. The software can have bugs, the databases can be breached, and of course, you've always got us, the humans, making mistakes. Every single layer is a potential weak spot. So with all these threats coming from every direction, what's a company supposed to do? How do they build that digital fortress to protect themselves? Let's look at the frameworks they use to build a real cyber defense strategy. And believe me, this is not a niche concern. It is top of mind for everyone in the C-suite. As this study shows, leaders across every industry consistently rank cybersecurity as their #1 risk. It has moved way beyond being an IT problem. This is now about business survival. So when we say cybersecurity, what are we even talking about? What are we trying to protect? This definition nails it. It's so much more than just a firewall. It's the entire ecosystem, the tech, the rules, the habits, all designed to shield an organization's most valuable information assets. The good news is you're not just thrown into the deep end here. The Institute of Internal Auditors, the IIA, has our back. They provide tons of amazing guidance, like the Global Technology Audit Guides, or GTAGs, and they even have specific rules on how we should approach auditing cybersecurity. Okay, now this is super important. It's called the 3 lines model, and it's basically the foundation for how modern companies defend themselves. Think of it like a castle defense. The first line is management. They're the soldiers on the walls dealing with risk every day. The second line is risk and compliance. They're like the watchtower, keeping an eye on everything. And then there's the third line. That's us, internal audit. We're the independent party that comes in to make sure the walls are strong and the soldiers are ready. But all the best defenses in the world won't help if there's no strategy. You need someone steering the ship from the very top, and that's where IT governance enters the picture. And I really want you to get this. IT governance is not an IT department problem. It's a boardroom problem. It's a core responsibility of the board and top executives. At the end of the day, the buck stops with them to make sure technology is actually helping the business, not hurting it. So what does that actually mean? What are they doing up there? Well, they're the ones setting the big picture strategy, deciding where the money goes, keeping an eye on major risks, and making sure people are held accountable, usually through committees, while relying on internal audit for that unbiased, independent check. All right, let's make this about you. What does all of this mean for your career path? As you're getting ready to become an internal auditor, what do you really need to know? And here's the deal. You don't have to become a coder or a hardcore tech guru, but you absolutely 100% have to be tech aware. Every single auditor needs that baseline knowledge. Now, if you find you really love this stuff, there's totally a path for you to specialize and get certifications like the CISA. And hey, this isn't just me saying it's a good idea. This is non-negotiable. It's baked right into our professional standards. The IIA's rule on due professional care makes it clear. We are required to use technology properly to do our jobs well. Okay, so just when you think you've got a handle on things, everything changes. The tech world never, ever stands still, right? So let's take a quick peek into the future and see what's reshaping risk right now. I mean, just look at this list. We're talking about artificial intelligence, blockchain, RPA. This stuff is literally changing the game for how businesses run. And for us auditors, that means a whole new universe of risks we have to get our heads around, and fast. AI, in particular, is a whole different beast. It creates these really tricky, unique risks. Things like bias accidentally getting programmed into an algorithm, or the famous black box problem, where the AI gives you an answer, but you have no earthly idea how it got there. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question for our profession, the one everyone is talking about. How in the world do you audit a black box? How can you give assurance on something you can't fully explain? Look, there's no simple magic answer here, but it starts with our core principles. We stick to a risk-based approach. We have to be humble enough to know when we need to call in an external specialist, and we have to be the ones pushing to get these new technologies onto the audit plan in the first place. Whew, okay, that was a lot. So let's just hit the highlights one more time and boil it all down to the key things you really need to remember. So if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. Being tech-savvy is not a nice-to-have skill for auditors anymore. It's not optional. It is absolutely fundamental to our jobs and to our ability to provide any real value in the modern world. So as you keep going with your studies, please keep this in mind. Your ability to get comfortable with this stuff, to understand and navigate this complex tech landscape, that's what's going to make you stand out. That's what will make you a valuable, relevant professional. Because that's what we're doing here, preparing you for a dynamic future.